आप यूज करते हो अनलेस एंड अनटिल। अनलेस एंड अनटिल, एल को थोड़ा सा इस तरफ की तरफ रखना। अनटिल एंड अनलेस, एन हाफ, until and unless, unless and until and unless, with you, with a view, बस एक डॉट लगा देना है, at any rate, एनआर को हाफ करते हो। एक वर्ड आता है बैंक्रप्सी, कॉन्ट्रैक्शन है दोनों के दोनों। बैकवर्ड एंड फॉरवर्ड, या तो आप ये यूज करेंगे या फिर बैकवर्ड को एफ से काट दो। ये केसी में भी यूज किया गया है, एक जगह पे मेंशन किया गया है, बैकवर्ड एंड फॉरवर्ड। इन फेवर ऑफ द, इन बनाएंगे, फेवर के लिए डबलिंग कर देंगे और दा लगा देंगे। इन फेवर ऑफ द, नाउ एंड देन, नाउ एंड देन, एंड काउ, होल हार्टेडली, लार्ज सर्कल में टी हाफ कर दो, डी के लिए एल लगा दो, होल हार्टेडली। डिनाई, वैसे तो आप डिनाई को ऐसे बनाते हो, लेकिन आप ओनली लाइन से नीचे ये भी बना दोगे तो वो डिनाई पड़ा जाएगा। डिनाइज, आई एस, इसमें एस का सर्कल लगा दो, डिनाइज। डिनाइड, सेम पैटर्न, कट कर देते हैं। लिखो ये वर्ड, अनलेस एंड अनटिल, until and unless, with you, with a view, at any rate, bankruptcy, backward and forward, in favor of the, now and then, wholeheartedly, deny, denies, डिनाइड। आप डिक्टेशन लिखेंगे और आपको जो यूआरएल टाइप करना है वो सेम रहेगा, जिसमें आपको टाइप करना है 3p प्रोग्राम, डबल एम है इसमें, ई डॉट स्टेनो 18 डॉट इन, और आपको मिलेगा ये सेट SSC C एंड D ग्रेड टेस्ट 27 यूट्यूब, @100 होगा विद कोमा, @80 विद कोमा, @80 नो कोमा। इसके अलावा जो मैंने आपको असाइनमेंट दिया था प्रैक्टिस सेट का, वो आपको सारा का सारा कंप्लीट कर लेना है, उसकी डिक्टेशन ले लेनी है और उसको सबमिट करना है आपको बुधवार तक का। जो सबमिट करेगा मैं उसको नेक्स्ट असाइनमेंट दे दूंगा। आपको दोनों चीज़ें चेक करानी है। देखो, एक तो सबसे पहले उसके अंदर जो शॉर्ट फॉर्म दे रखी है वो सारी फिल करेंगे, जो नहीं समझ आएगा पीछे आंसर दे रखे हैं आपने। नेक्स्ट उसके अंदर आउटलाइन बनाएंगे, एक आध उसमें थोड़ी बहुत टेक्निकल और टाइपिंग में एरर है, मैं इस बार के सेट में थोड़ा सा उसको क्रॉस चेक करा लूंगा। तो आपने सामने आउटलाइन बनानी है उनकी सबकी, जो तुमसे नहीं बनेंगी उसको अंडरलाइन कर लेना, या तुम्हें डाउट होगा, बनानी तो देखो सारी है, अगर डाउट भी है ना तो भी आप उसको अंडरलाइन कर लेंगे, ठीक है, उसको डिस्कस कर लेंगे। मोस्टली कंटेंट वही है, आगे पीछे मिक्स करके बनाया गया है ताकि आप जो है ये अपने आप से बिना देखे बना पाओ उसको। साथ में मैंने जिसको पार्ट 2A पार्ट 2B कॉमन वर्ड का दे रखा है वो सबमिट कर देंगे, अपनी एंट्री करवा लो रजिस्टर में, क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा, उसके हिसाब से मैं गाइड कर देता हूँ। ट्रांसक्रिप्शन थोड़ी बढ़ा कर रखूँ, एग्जाम या तो नवंबर के लास्ट में जाएगा या फिर जनवरी के लास्ट में जाएगा। अगर एग्जाम नवंबर के लास्ट में जाएगा तो आपका जो ये रिजल्ट है ये अभी दिवाली तक आ जाएगा, लग रहा है ऐसा, ठीक है। अदरवाइज फिर आपके पास काफ़ी समय होगा। लिखो, डिक्टेशन लिखूंगा, पहले हाई पे लिखूंगे, रेडी। Start it. The President has said that in the last 60 years we have progressed along this path, illumined by Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. We shall adhere to it, come what may, with the determination and courage instilled in us by Sonia Gandhi. In my opinion, this is the time for all of us, whether belonging to that side or this side, irrespective of party affiliations, to rededicate ourselves to these basic fundamentals of our Constitution. If we do that, we will be a united India. Not only will we command respect in the Committee of Nations, but the foundations will be such that nobody on the earth will be able to do any harm to us. I have one thing to say, that our country is a continent, and in this continent we have faced this year one of the severest droughts in 100 years. It is the prudent policy of having accumulated buffer stocks that, in spite of setbacks that we have experienced, there has not been any starvation death. This is a tribute to the ingenuity of our policy of having created the buffer stocks. To my mind, there are one or two gray areas. One of the gray areas is our population explosion, which my friend Sri Prashant has also referred to. We may be doing what we are doing. For instance, 20 million acceptors of contraceptives and other things we have produced, but we have not evolved a national consensus on this issue. I spoke about the matter in different forums when the Prime Minister was also there. I told him that a national consensus on family welfare program must be evolved. I also told him that you have been calling meetings of the opposition parties quite often on different issues, but to my mind, the most important issue for which an all-party meeting should be convened is to evolve a national policy on population. In spite of our all-round economic development, it all gets nullified by the population explosion. We have not done much in this direction. I had the privilege of going to China and I saw how they are progressing in this regard. It is true that there have been many occasions when undue advantage has been taken by one party or the other in the implementation of this program. This is why I want national consensus on family planning. Sir, I go to the next area, and that is with regard to agriculture. The agriculture minister has stated in a conference the other day that in spite of drought, he has fixed a target of 175 million tons of food grains for the current year. That is a good idea, but the important thing to which the President has referred is the need of increase in the production of oil seeds, and to this I add pulses. I want the government to give special attention to the production of these things because edible oils and pulses are the common man's need in India, and we are having shortage of pulses and edible oils, and we are importing these in a very large quantity. So the thrust of our program, as we have done in the case of Green Revolution, is that we should concentrate on the production of pulses and edible oils, and then assure our own people that within a period of 2 years we will attain self-sufficiency in edible oils and pulses. The next point is with regard to public sector. There is no doubt that the public sector occupies a commanding height, and it has occupied commanding heights in our mixed economy. But the problem of accountability of public sector has not been done to the desired extent. I submit, sir, that for this purpose, the program implementation ministry is helping the public sector undertakings with regard to any difficulties that they face. In that ministry, on or before 5th of every month, they get a report from the particular undertaking with regard to the difficulties that they face in manufacturing or marketing or finance or any other thing, and the program implementation ministry sees to it that these difficulties are removed. But a new thinking has come to the heads of these public sector undertakings, that is, by sending the report on the 5th of every month, they pass on the buck to the program implementation ministry and they forget about what they have written. This attitude has to be changed. The executives of these public sector undertakings should be told that the planning commission or the program implementation ministry is there only to help you, and it is for you to set things right and see that any difficulties faced by them are removed and their undertaking shows results. I think for that purpose, it will be advisable that their promotion or renewal of their contract or enhancement of their present grade should be linked with the jobs done by the heads of these public sector undertakings. So far as the utility of the All India services is concerned, I would like to mention that first of all, it will introduce an element of competition. There will be a wider field of selection. There will be mobility from one state to another, and from the states to the center, and from the center to the states. These people will thus have a greater opportunity of gaining very rich experience, which will be of great use not only to them but to the people with whom they have to work. I would also like to mention one more very important aspect, that of national integration. The men of the All India services, by their experience in one state, will be able to come closer to the people of the different states, mix with them well, and this will accelerate the process of national integration. This is not a small achievement through the services. If the services do not have this national approach, then it is bound to have an adverse effect on the people as a whole, because the services are in a way an element of the society and they are able to build up public opinion. ये 1000 प्लस वर्ड है, फ्लक्चुएशन 110 तक का है, स्पीड 100 प्लस है, और ये आपको टेस्ट नंबर 27 यूट्यूब @100 विद कोमा मिल जाएगा। अपलोड कर रखा है मैंने, आप 80 पे लिखेंगे। Ready? Start it. Mr. Vice Chairman, first of all, I must place on record my grateful thanks to the University Grants Commission for the work that they have done for the advancement of higher education. They have done good work and in full cooperation with the Education Ministry. This, I think, must encourage state governments to establish university grants commissions or committees in their respective states. What the country needs most is the coordinated efforts of the autonomous university grants commissions working in harmony with the state governments and university authorities. Coordinated efforts are needed to bring about certain uniformity in the standards of university education. Without that, our educational advancement is bound to suffer from various tensions and difficulties. I do agree with my friend that the annual report under discussion is rather a dull report. At least it is not as bright as the two previous reports were. In the previous two reports, the University Grants Commission invited the attention of the nation to certain academic problems, to certain educational needs. Unfortunately, in this report, the University Grants Commission confines its remarks mostly to what has been achieved in the field of university education under the guidance and with the assistance of the University Grants Commission. However, sir, it is not possible for me to agree with Mr. Santhanam that the University Grants Commission should not extend help to universities for the preservation of manuscripts. Manuscripts are of great importance so far as university libraries are concerned. It is the duty of universities to preserve those manuscripts, and it is the duty of the University Grants Commission to extend to universities the necessary financial assistance for maintaining and preserving the manuscripts in good order. Also, it is not possible for me, sir, to agree with my friend that today universities are enjoying too much of autonomy. I agree with the University Grants Commission, which 2 years ago remarked that freedom is vital for education and democracy. And I personally feel, sir, that on one plea or the other, university autonomy and academic freedom are being restricted rather than being extended as they must be. I do not think, sir, that a social purpose or a social value can be imparted in the teaching by a teacher through the imposition of restrictions on his freedom of thinking. I feel that teachers need academic freedom for discharging their duties in an efficient way. If we take into consideration the affiliated colleges, we will notice that the teachers are subjected to such humiliating conditions that it is not possible for them to discharge their duties to their students, to impart to their students any sense of responsibility or any moral values in their lives. I therefore, sir, feel that it is necessary to be more careful about the preservation of academic freedom to teachers. Sir, we are grateful to the Education Ministry and to the University Grants Commission for upgrading the salaries of teachers in the central universities, yet a great disparity prevails in the salaries of teachers of central universities and state universities and affiliated colleges, and this disparity is causing a lot of heartburning and a lot of difficulties. As one connected with education, I may say that there is not such a marked difference in the quality of teachers serving in the central universities and in the state universities and in affiliated colleges as to justify the great disparity in the salaries of teachers of these institutions. I feel, sir, that we must keep in our mind the remarks of the University Grants Commission made in their earlier annual report with regard to teachers' salaries. We are not only to provide adequate salaries to teachers of affiliated colleges, but also to teachers of secondary schools. We must remember, sir, that a great majority of students study in affiliated colleges and the quality of education is largely determined by the quality of work that is done in affiliated colleges. For improvement in the quality of teaching, improvement in living conditions is also very necessary. The University Grants Commission has invited our attention in its report to the appealing conditions in which teachers have to live. But unfortunately, the University Grants Commission has to admit that it does not seem likely that we shall be able to make anything more than the marginal contribution towards this practical need. I feel that the University Grants Commission should pay more attention to the solution of this problem than has so far been paid by it and the Education Ministry, and that the government should not gurge funds to the University Grants Commission for making adequate arrangements for improving living conditions of teachers who are expected to train the citizens of the country. Sir, in the University Grants Commission report, it is maintained that rupees 12,000 should be granted to every affiliated college for the welfare of the teaching staff, and that efforts should be made to provide them with quarters, and that too in the vicinity of the college where they teach. ये भी आपको जो है 80 की स्पीड पे बोला गया है ये, और ये भी आपको मिलेगा 27 नंबर पे विद कोमा नो कोमा। टाइप करेंगे, अच्छा लिखा हुआ आपने, टाइप करेंगे। इसके अलावा जिसको स्पीकर लिखनी है तो उधर बैठेगा डिक्टेशन रूम में।